We'll call our main committee meetings to order. Chairman Board of the Finance Committee, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to call the Finance Committee to order. Do we have any visitors wishing to address the committee?
My name is London Noe, 2343 Joe Stevens Road. I noticed you have a large number of budget amendments, which is not uncommon toward the end of the fiscal year. But what I noticed was that a lot of them had pulling from fund balance in order to appropriate additional money. Often you'll find, and you've seen it through your recent year, that they pull from overtime to pay for computers or pull from something within their own budget so that there's no new money. But now I'm seeing a lot of, suddenly we're pulling from fund balance. What is your fund balance today? The trustee keeps a monthly record of fund balance for the general fund, the drug fund, all the funds, the school fund, debt service, everything. It used to be that those reports were in the monthly packets that commissioners would get. They're not there, and they haven't been there for a long time. I'd like to ask that you request or require that that information be in your packets monthly. It's prepared monthly. It has to be prepared. It's required. You all need to see that. And it wouldn't hurt for the public to be able to see it either. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, on the packets we have our expenditure reports. Do we have a motion for the acceptance of the checks as ordered? We got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion, a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposition, like sign. Motion carries. In old business, we have none. In new business, we have the budget amendments. For one, Fund 101, accounting and budgeting for $627.24. Mayor Britton.
This is just budgeting some revenue that we received from the comptroller's office, reimbursing us for some travel expenses that Amanda Hill incurred when she went to some training. So it's adding to revenue and the corresponding expenses.
Do we have a motion?
Is that $400? Is that what it cost her to go down there, and then we decided to give her $187 back?
The 440 was the Nan, you correct me if I'm wrong. That was the registration fee for the course.
Yes, that's for
The registration fee for the course.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Who seconded?
Mayor.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Number 4.2, Fund 101 for Chancery Court for $8,000.
This is a budget amendment where the clerk of master is taking funds from her reserved data processing fee that can only be used for computers and that type of equipment for the clerk of master's office. It's generated in her office and they're reserved for those purposes. And she's using those dollars, appropriating those dollars that are in fund balance and then spending them on new computers.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A motion, do we have a second?
I talked to one of the girls up there, there's 7 computers involved with it and 2 printers, and they're not all in this office. There's a couple of them go to the west office, and I think think I'm right saying one of them's over at the Justice Center, because she has to have computers, both that, but the girl told me it's a shop. She said they're literally a shop. I said, it's funny, all of them go bad at one time, but she says, that's what she told me, so I believe what she
They
said.
all the same time.
Huh?
They all the same time.
They all go down. This year they quit.
It's a day the board.
So we have a motion and we had a second. Is that correct? Wayne, did you second?
Neesmith?
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 4, number 3, Sheriff's Department for $7,212.60. Mayor Britton?
Debbie Hammond, Debbie, you want to speak to this, or Chief, you want to speak to
The
this?
money we got from the state for the salary supplement for the narcotics officers, that's just putting it back in the line item.
Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Got a motion, do we have a second? Got a second? Taylor
Can we
Ward?
do something that shows that this is not, as I just wanted to, this is not, recurring or money placed back in. And to me, it looks like budget, with money coming. Is it something intentional? Well, supposedly, it's 16.
Just an explanation, it's,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. That could help, wouldn't it?
Do we have a motion and a second? Do we have any other discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 4, Fund 116 for Solid Waste and Sanitation Fund for $19,000. Barry?
What does that involve, Randy? I'm not looking at it right here.
That's a reappropriation for laborers and truck drivers, just moving it from laborers to truck drivers.
Yeah, we've had some folks get their driver's license and begin driving.
Reclassification.
Yeah.
Okay.
Commercial driver's license.
Get more money for that. We'll get rid of walk to work.
Okay, do we have a motion for
You make,
approval?
on the laborers, what you do, make truck drivers out of them?
Yes.
How many is that? How many were
I think that was 1, maybe 2 for just, part of the year.
Do we have a motion for approval?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Number 4, 5, Fund 116, Solid Waste Sanitation Fund for $1,125. This is for reclassification of appropriations to cover longevity for the sanitation workers, correct, Terry?
Yes.
Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Taylor Ward, second from Wayne. Any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Number 4, 6 for solid waste for $400. Barry?
just moving some money from diesel fuel to gasoline.
And this is where we decided to try to, instead of over budgeting for it, allow it to come back when needed, correct? Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. Number 4-7, Fund 131, Highway Public Works for $8,000.
That same thing, moving from diesel fuel to gasoline. Saving on one, the others costing us a little more than anticipated.
This is still out of the funds that were appropriated for fuel though, correct?
Yes,
Just moving it from gas to diesel.
yes.
Do we have a motion for approval? So moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. Amendment 4-8, Fund 101, Sheriff's Department for $24,000. We, anyone from the Sheriff's Department that could
It's
address that?
for gasoline. Our line item for gasoline is to get us through the rest of the year.
Where's the money come from?
This is coming from the fund balance.
You're looking for the difference in the federal money system. Did you get money for that?
Yes, we're already in the hole on our line items. 2 years ago, our line item for the gasoline was cut by $45,000 because at that time, the price of gas wasn't as expensive. We made it fine last year, didn't need anything, but this year, because the price of gas has gone up and because of our transports, our mental transports and everything, we're in the negative on our gasoline line item.
Has there been a dramatic increase in the transports to Chattanooga? Or is it
There's always transports going on, always.
a lot of increase? Do we have any idea what?
Do you know what the increase is in the transports to Chattanooga?
I don't know exactly, but probably 1 week.
Do we have a motion for approval? Taylor Ward, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Do we treat this exactly like we would the other account? Is this being transferred from one of their funds to another one, or is it's coming straight from the general budget?
Coming from reserves.
Reserves?
That's where the money's coming from.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries. Mr. Stepp. Number 4-8, I'm sorry, 4-9. Fund 101 for Sheriff's Department for $50,489.
This is where our overtime line item is. We're running short on it. Any of the officers on the night shift, when they have to show up in court, all that's overtime, and we just have no control over the overtime, and our line item is running low, and this is what Ann had figured would get us through the end of the year, fiscal year.
Do we have a motion for approval?
$1,000 a week for overtime. It looks like to me.
How how many did we agree to hire last year?
This is the sheriff's office, it's not for security, this is for the sheriff's office.
For the sheriff.
We also still have graduation to continue with, and we also have, the honor guard that's gonna be involved with the city honor guard, in the near future as well.
What's that
will be over time.
What's that for?
Guess what's on my shirt?
The honor guard, is at the request of the Knights of Columbus, they made a request to, the city as well as the county honor guard in order to, attend graveside services for veterans at a particular cemetery.
What are they paying overtime? Pay $400 an hour? $50,000?
Is the sheriff even aware of this? I mean, he didn't sign his request like everybody else has, so I didn't. So you got one
Yes,
child signed?
he's aware of it, he talked to, the mayor about it already.
He don't have to follow the same procedure. Must be nice.
We'll give them all we can while we can. Get on that.
Do what?
We'll give them all we can while we can, and then we'll get it stopped. That's ridiculous.
Do we have a motion?
You don't have enough.
No motion. Falls without a motion. Number 410, Sheriff's Department for $3,759. And this is to appropriate funds necessary to cover the pay adjustment for Jimmy Mullins retroactively.
The reason for that is that, Jimmy Mullins was, promoted to, lieutenant over a year ago, and a mistake was made in calculating how much to bump him up and how much to bump the previous lieutenant down, and this is to correct that. Because that, sergeant is now making more than the lieutenant.
It's not up.
How was that calculation handled? How was that mistake made, I guess?
We looked at, the percentage that we were going to drop, the previous lieutenant down to sergeant, and also boosting, the present lieutenant, Jimmy Mullins, up. There was a miscalculation made. And, in fairness to him, he should be making more than, the subordinate.
It's not even there.
Do we have a motion? We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in, any further discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. All opposed? Aye. Motion carries.
Make the second.
Item number 4B, federal year 19 Homeland Security Grant, Mayor Britton.
Before I get to that, Randy, it's just, I guess a clarification we need from you guys on what to do with the overtime for the sheriff's department. Do we stop paying it when we run out of money?
Transfer money.
So that's what we'll do when the money's gone.
And those don't work.
Why was it not signed off?
We've got it signed, we've got it signed. Debbie signs it for the sheriff, and she was out at the end of last week, and we got it. So. Okay, as far as the Homeland Security grant goes, every year, Chris Bell through EMA Director through the District 2 Homeland Security Office applies for a Homeland Security grant. He's just asking for permission to apply for the grant. It's 100% grant money. There's no match to it.
You have a motion to approve? I'm sorry.
Make a motion.
Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 4C, employer contribution rate to TCRS. Mayor Britton?
We have TCRS, which is Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System, which is the retirement system that county employees are a member of. Every year do an actuarial study of our plan and tell us what the minimum contribution has to be made to the plan as an employer. The employer makes a contribution, and then the employee is required to make a 5% contribution. The past several years, the minimum payment, the minimum rate has been 9.06% for non-public safety employees, and then those public safety employees have been at 12.56%. And so the actuarial study this year came back with lower rates. The minimum rate for a general employee is 6.06%. For public safety, it's 9.56%. We do have a unfunded accrued liability in the pension fund. So what we're recommending is on the general employee rate is pay 7%, and for the public safety employees pay 10.5%. That way we will be lowering our costs, but also in paying more than the minimum to offset some of the unfunded liability that we have.
Do you have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. And then item 4D, Rose Center Security Camera System Installation. Mayor Britton?
During the budget process last year, the commission approved funding for the installation of LED lighting conversion. It was requested by Rose Center and asked the county to pay for converting their lighting to LED. We did a project over there, it's almost complete, not quite, for a little over $8,000. So there's about $10,000 left that was appropriated by the commission. Merle Burglar Alarm has donated a 16-camera security system to Rose Center. Rose Center's asking to use some of that money that was left over from the lighting project to pay for the installation of the system. What I've proposed to Rose Center is that our IT manager, Jeff Atkins, with a couple of high school interns, run the wire, pull the wire, and then Merle's going to terminate the ends and install the cameras. What I'm asking for Rose Center in their absence is to use up to $5,000 for the installation of that system.
Of the money that was left over.
Yes.
So how much you say is left over?
About $10,000.
About 10,000, you guys still gonna have 5,000.
Seeing that this is a city building, why can't the city pitch in the money? Our IT guy's gonna do it, and we're gonna get the people. Why can't they come up with the funds?
I have to talk to them.
Last year, they paid $110,000 on the roof, and it's gonna cost us a lot less. We appropriate, I believe, 18,000. It's gonna end up costing us about 10. We got a lot of stuff to distribute. And there's many people in the county that use this.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Only thing we gotta do, Tim, is when they come back. You got your money, go on. Okay.
Okay.
That's crazy.
We have a motion, do we have a second? A motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Gord. Chairman Doty, if the Personnel Committee here recognizes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do we have any visitors wishing to address the personnel committee today? Seeing none, we move on. Old business, we have none. New business, item 4A, we have a return to Blue Cross Blue Shield for pharmacy benefits. Mayor Ritter.
A year ago, the spring of 2018, we went through an RFP process to determine whether we needed to go to another pharmacy benefit manager. We were unhappy with the rising costs of Blue Cross, the lack of transparency on what we were paying. We weren't getting that data. So we went through the RFP process and awarded the contract of MedBin. And the goal was to reduce our pharmacy costs. That was the goal, and it didn't work. So what we're recommending is that we return to Blue Cross Blue Shield with the same, which we had before. The generic, preferred, and all the co-pays are the same as they are now. The only difference the employee will see will be a new card. And it'll be one card that'll have the medical and pharmacy benefit. So we're asking to approve a contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield to.
Bill, why didn't it work? Why didn't it work with the company we had?
That's a good question, Wayne. We haven't gotten a complete answer on that. It's worked in other counties, but the price savings didn't materialize.
Is that based on the number of people? Did we have more people than we thought we'd have?
I don't think so. And I'm not sure whether it's the types of drugs. Even our generics were more with MedBin. Walgreens. They do not have an agreement with Walgreens, and so that impacted us. And in in some of the counties and cities where they have contracts with MedBin, they prohibit the use of Walgreens, but we didn't do that. So
What's it cost us? How much does it cost us?
it's cost us over $100,000.
So this is a savings.
A savings on what it is right now.
So where we stand, we gonna vote on whether we want to change it?
Well, we're recommending the change.
No. They're changing.
We changed it.
I heard it cost $300,000. But it wasn't necessarily that. They terrible delivered medicine. They delivered medicine, billed us for people, but they didn't deliver. I think we ought to prosecute.
No, that's that's care here.
Well, one of those plans, we're supposed to make a lot of money on.
No,
Scare here or the other one, wasn't it?
no,
What we supposed to?
we're supposed to save a lot of money.
Our experience in the ends is they're just a middleman that tries to figure out a drug mix. Joe can help on this, that is appropriate for what they can cut costs for the insurance company. But it's often just not the case. But everyone uses a PBM at this point, and there's some question about whether that's even going to be carried on in the future. Joe, do you have anything to add to that?
I discussed a little bit about that. One of the things that we used to do back about 5 years ago, when someone was in jail, they had TennCare or they had home insurance. So what we did, we filled our prescriptions at our local drugstores and we delivered it to the jail. And guess what? It didn't cost the county one dime, not one dime. Because their insurance was paying for us to do it. Now, I don't know what it is today, but when they changed to your plan here to go with the clinic type thing, you put a stop to everything we had with our county, our local pharmacists. We didn't get nothing after that. So we started paying everything, man. The county paid it all. And so,
Yeah, it still wasn't. There was some benefits that were paid. This
was the pharmacy, the local pharmacy?
No.
It wasn't us. Oh, okay.
Don't you speak up a little bit? Wayne can't hear you.
I'm sorry,
Can you speak up a little bit?
I'm trying to,
Okay.
It's about the HMOs.
this will be better. It's a lot better.
Okay.
And this is the employee's insurance plan. It doesn't have anything to do with the jail. This is the employees.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve.
I second that motion.
Got a motion second. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Doty. Chairman Goins of the Public Service Committee, your recommendation.
I bring the Public Service Committee to order. Anybody wishing to address this committee?
Good afternoon. My name's Edna Green. I live at 4981 Cameron Road, Morristown, Tennessee. I came today because I heard a rumor to the effect that we're going to allow them to tape so that people like me that sit close so they can hear. If I miss a meeting, I can go online and listen to it and see it. Now, I'm fortunate, people. I'm 65 and I still work part-time. So sometimes with business, I don't make it to get you. And I'm sure that most of you that are younger than I am still know what I'm talking about. People that are my age, most of them, they have a little more free time. But I appreciate it if Vince would think twice and not move the taping to the back of the room if you leave it to the front. Taxpayers have a right to know. And I will tell you, I've been flabbergasted. You just let things go by tonight that you've not questioned. And I don't understand that. I question the expenses of the church I attend. I question the expenses all the way around. And I don't understand why yous aren't. Maybe I'm just a little naive, but I expect you to move. Your taxpayers put you in to see some results, and they changed some faces around these tables for a reason. So please, open your mouth, open your eyes, do your job. You represent Hamlin County taxpayers. You need to be moving. And maybe you don't like an old woman to tell you that, but I'm telling you the truth. Now, about the taping, I sit close so I can hear. If she's up front, I will be able to hear it as I can now when I go online to listen to it. And I don't know about the rest of you, my hearing's not the best now. And I'm sure some of you can understand what I'm saying. And if I've not made it plain enough, you're more than welcome to call me. I'll give you a full explanation. Thank you for your time.
Anybody else?
I have several comments. My name's Linda Noe, 2343 Joe Stevens Road. I've been taping these meetings for a long time. And we're looking at committee meetings where there's nobody else taping. And if you look at the audience, well, mostly government people, 3 citizens. as Ms. Green said, not everyone can come to these meetings. This is where, if there's going to be some discussion, this is usually where it happens. We're pushing buttons at the regular meeting. I'm over there, that camera makes no sound, it has no lights. I get over there so that I'm not blocking people, not that there's anybody to block now anyway, but I try to get out of the way, but close enough where I can get a quality tape as well as sound. That's the key thing. And let me just give you a little bit of history. I was elected to the county commission in 2002, as were a large number of new people. There was Nancy Phillips, Tom Lowe, I can't even remember, there were, I think 6 or 7 new commissioners. One of the first things we did was start taping the county commission meetings. That camera was donated by charter. Ms. Phillips and I, and primarily Ms. Phillips, went to charter and got a donation of a lot of the equipment. That one has a view from there. You can see that camera. It's got a camera over here that he can use. It's hooked up to your microphones so that even though he's back there, he can do a good quality tape. I don't have all that. Nobody's donated a big camera and equipment or connected me to your microphones or anything like that. So putting it back there is pretty much going to say, we don't really want the quality tape, maybe we don't really even want to tape at all of our committee meetings. There's no one who can say that camera bothers anything. Now, I think that Mr. Goins, at the last meeting when I was not here, mentioned to Ms. Holden that he was concerned there was talking, giggling, or whatever it is that he's hearing. And yes, I just chuckled a minute ago. And I did that because somebody said, this is a savings. Yeah, because you passed this horrible thing where you increase your costs terribly, and now you're coming back to what you had before. That's the savings. But I don't bother anybody. But what really concerns me is that in all the years I've been taping, Mr. Goins, who's brought forth this resolution, has never asked me to shh, be quiet, or ask the chair to remove me. You've got ways of handling disruptions. That camera doesn't disrupt. It doesn't need to be sent to the back. If I disrupt, you've got a way to take care of me. Take me out of here. Or at least ask me to be quiet. If I'm truly interrupting and bothering your meeting and lousing it all up. The other thing I want to mention is only 7 of you that I know of were here in 2015. That's when Mayor Britton proposed cutting out public comments from your official meeting, from the tape of your official meeting. Fortunately, we were able to get that stopped. But again, that shows, and you can look on my blog and you can see it. The Tennessee Coalition for Open Government wrote about it and put it on their website. If you want to stand for open government and true transparency, don't shut out cameras, don't put them over in a corner. Unless they were, if I were here taping and everybody's way, I can see asking me to move in a heartbeat. But that is not a problem. And if I'm a problem, you already have a way to take care of it. So I just ask that you not approve this. Let's go back to and enforce the rules. If there is a problem, you have the rules now. You don't have to send the camera to the back of the room. Because that camera doesn't bother anything.
Linda, I've been here 5 years and I've never known that there's ever been a problem at all. I don't know if anybody's in the city negative about your camera or anything, so I don't know where this comes from.
I don't either, and that's why it took me back that I had never had anybody say, your camera bothers me,
Nobody said it, that's what I'm saying.
I know. And I would appreciate you voting not to send it back over there where.
It's no problem.
Again, I appreciate it, and I hope everyone else will recognize that as well. Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing none, no old business, new business. 4A, roadside bulk waste collection discussion. Dottie?
I want to bring up, Hamlin County suddenly, in the last 5 years, we just started allowing people to dump debris into the ditch lines, and we're picking it up with this swag car, quote unquote, am I correct, a very swag car? And I don't know how this evolved. I've been living here 61 years, and I've never known that was any service that Hamlin County offered. You know, brush debris, you know, I always thought those trucks were basically for brush pickup.
I personally think it got out of hand. I think you're right, it's supposed to be for brush. But then they just keep picking up more and more. I just think it got out of hand over the years. Am I correct, Barry? You think it's gotten out of hand, or?
What, how much has it grown? Have you got numbers on that you can share with us? The last 5 years?
In 2014, we picked up 7,865 tons. And in 2017, we picked up 8,836 tons. And we're on track this year to pick up over 9,500 tons.
So it's steadily growing, no doubt about it, because you can see the debris mines all over the road everywhere you go.
But now, in terms of not ever, are you talking about, Scotty, just purely brush is what you think we used to pick up? We've always picked up, Jim was, he done it for several years in the county. We've always picked up about everything. Now, we don't want to pick up wet paint, paint that's got, wet paint, still in the cans or containers, and the lid's not sealed on it good. We don't want to pick up batteries because of the acid and some things that, we don't need to be picking up. It needs to be safe to take to the landfill. Not to dispute you or not to call you down in any way, but we've always picked up junk and brush. So, it's just something that's.
When you pick up junk and brush together, does it go straight to the landfill? Can you incinerate that?
You can't incinerate it. You have to, now if I understand correctly, if I'm a driver on one of those trucks and I get to a street and I look down the street and there's enough brush on that street to purely pick up brush so we can take it and be incinerated, that's what we do. But if we look down that street and there's a mixture and we can't fill the truck up with one or the other, then we just put it in there as we come to it. I can tell you over the years, we've grown to from 1 or 2 trucks, to we're running 5 and 6 if we can now. And so, it's.
You got a spare, though?
Yes.
Yeah. But that's just we do it every day, but we just do it tomorrow.
We do it every day.
Could we come up with a suggestion where maybe we could curb some of this? I mean, we want to provide a reasonable service, but also in line with that, save taxpayer money. Go ahead, Doug.
Probably what varies. More so the ones that live in the county. They just throw it out in the yard. I think we ought to write them a letter of charge. I really do. So today, go my driveway, maybe driveway half mile, and I'll throw it in between, it's just rude people. It's nothing but rude.
Well, I mean, this mattresses, guys, TV sets. I mean, the guys that own the duplex now, when they evict someone, they're dumping everything out into the street road.
Absolutely.
I mean, and we're picking it up and hauling it off, so it's like another one does it, another one does it. Household demolition, remodeling.
Barry, how big an issue is that for you? A problem?
Hey, White, Tim, you ought to go out to Wynn's place. You can't believe it.
Where?
It's crazy, for cans and stuff like that.
How do we stop it?
I think we ought to write them a damn ticket.
What couldn't you do, you know, give 30, 60 notice in the paper and we stop picking it up? Let it be known that it's not gonna be done anymore, and that that truck only handles brush, debris, which is what's offered. We're offered, you got curbside garbage pickup for your home, you got curbside recycling. There ain't a county that touches Hamlin County that offers that. We might be the only one in the state that have been told too, okay? And now this has turned into a huge, it's an eyesore. Is it not a pollution? I mean, is it not environmentally bad to be putting pumping all this stuff?
Everything that you do, they'll just take advantage of it more.
Well, I mean, this is obvious of this. I mean, you've got an East End situation, lady inherits a piece of land. It's a trash piece of land. I mean, it's bad. It was a trailer park. And she's expecting, you know, clean the debris. I mean, they pile a mountain down there at the road. I mean, it would have took him a week to haul that off. Every man he's got, haul that off. Well, that's her clearing of her land. She has to pay for that, not the other taxpayer paying that.
Absolutely.
These same people that load it on a trailer and take it and dump it into the ditch line and take it to the landfill for free, up to 6,000 pounds. That's 3 tons a year. They can do it themselves free. It's just a matter of who picks it up and who takes it there. And I think it's unsightly. I mean, we want to bring people into Hamlin County. What about if you were a realtor going down the road, some people from Europe with this new bus company, and they, you know, that's something. What is this? I mean, Kibbles Ridge Road has got now about 4 sites that have become dump sites for other people. You know, other people bringing product to these one or two locations and dumping it now.
We're out there at your place. They just go out there and dump it out. I don't care.
But what I'm saying is you can stop this, and this we've had discussion. You can reduce the amount. I mean, it's going to reduce taxpayers. You want to put more money toward roads in the future. I'm for all of putting that towards the roads.
No, I agree. If you look at the places up at, it's a sight. It's terrible.
No, it's awful. I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's terrible. People ought to be cited. And I mean, we could cite the property owners that are doing it, and allow it to be done. You know, but I mean, it needs to be formally something done. Is everybody informed and want to make a change?
You'd be surprised the number that I work with in the city. You'd be surprised the number of people in the city. We talk about 2 code enforcement officers who will take what they've got. Knowing they can get away with it, they can go out to a friend's house or someplace out in the county and dump it. It's happening a lot. One thing we keep up with in the city is tree trimmers, yard people that do yard work, and construction people. We keep up with them and say, listen, when we find those, the code enforcement, it's your job to haul it off to the landfill. Now, whether it makes it the landfill or not, we don't know.
Mr. Long, you want to put that in the form of a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to put a form motion that we invest.
Pardon me?
Maybe we can, and bring it up Thursday.
Right.
Next Thursday. Yeah.
Trying to write down.
We gotta go through
Can we find out exactly what we have in the way of laws right now to protect us from that? Can we see what's on there in the books right now? And is there anything we put teeth into it at all?
I know it's lax, I know.
We're getting ready to do some.
Well, I mean, what's that?
We need somebody to do it.
Well, we need to stop picking it up. I mean, the guys are picking it up, the more they keep picking it
Some of
up.
those people don't care. They'll just put it out
Well,
there.
then,
and
well, then, we need it.
They don't care.
No, I mean, the thing has to be put together somehow.
Yeah, you got to have somebody to enforce it.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, there needs to be, we need to let the people, the public know, give a proper notice, amount of what we're gonna do, that there could be a fine assessed if it's found, and it'll be assessed to the property owner.
Yep.
So that property.
When you draw this up, put down what you will pick up. You're gonna have to specify what Barry will.
What I'm suggesting is we go back to just strictly brush. If those trucks are strictly hauling brush, they go straight to the incinerator. Does that not save us money from the landfill? Okay? When you get mixed garbage, then you're going another direction. And when we're paying SWAT cars or driver trucks, I don't know what you call that truck properly, to go down, for example, Kibble Ridge Road, and he goes down that road 4 or 5 times, guys, I mean, that's ridiculous. When he's bypassing and going down here, picking this up, and bypassing, coming back, and, I mean, it's
I've seen people pile lumber out beside their trees.
They're
Would that be
piling
considered
everything,
the same
Woody.
thing?
They're piling everything. I went through,
Would that lumber be considered brush?
I would strictly put it to brush. Where did they get the lumber from? Okay.
We've had
Comes from
some who
trees.
tore their house down,
We're gonna have to,
brought it out to the street.
Strictly be
We've
brush.
been
When
limited,
someone is,
yeah.
just,
we'll
someone
think,
is
we'll have to say what.
doing a
the rules,
demolition
what the-
job, they need
Brush
to pay
over.
someone either to bring a dumpster to that site.
Brush
And
is
have it
a
hauled
different
on.
story. That's exactly right.
I mean, you can have it commercially done. We remodeled a house down there, and I would not let my nephew do that. I said, you're not gonna do that. And, you know, it took basically two what they call dinosaurs, which is, you know, I mean, they've been quoted 2 ton in a dinosaur, you tell me probably about 260, set in the unit, pick it up and haul it themselves to the dump. I mean, other taxpayers should be paying for, if I decide to remodel my house and remodel a bathroom, tear all that sheetrock out, whatever, go here and dump it, and you're gonna pay for me? That's not correct. And but it's not only that, it's pollution. This is the most unsightly thing I've ever seen happen. You drive in any county around here and you can't see it nowhere.
Barry.
No county beside of us.
I mean, this is just, we were talking about here, but is there a law prohibiting that?
It's called littering.
I mean, that's what you go with?
No.
Yeah, I'm
It's
just,
called
yeah,
littering.
so we have a law in the county that says you can't do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's called littering.
Understand something also, now,
Oh, yeah.
answering
I
this.
can go down this, hang on a minute, I can go down the road and pull out a pack of cigarette. And I'm charged with littering. Or I throw down a box, or whatever the thing's called, and they don't do anything, something's wrong with that.
Colin, right away.
Well, he has regulations enforced on what you can pick up and not pick up. I've seen the list.
They're not regulations. We brought some policies several years ago that the commission approved. They're not anything involved in that. They certainly don't have any teeth to them. I mean,
That's right.
they're just little policies that we wanted to go by.
Can we do it, guys?
Let me ask you this, is this part of the attraction of Hamilton County's job to bring people in and businesses in, is to have this service? Is that what it was intended for?
It's pretty ugly service.
It is right now, I appreciate it.
But how do you control it though? This is garbage that's not put in a container. It's not unsightly when you go down through here on Tuesday and you see everybody's garbage can sit down through there and you know they're going to do it.
This is this kind of garbage right here.
Yeah, well, and there's tons of pictures. I don't know how many she's got up here on the big, you can go.
Tim, right there, if you do that in your yard, or do that on the side of the road, that's damn garbage.
It is garbage.
You can go in there and throw a cigarette butt out, and nobody wants to do it.
I mean, I don't know how it evolved. I mean, I really don't know how it evolved from having normal pickup to what's happening. And it's growing. It's growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, I counted as many as 14 coming out Kibble Ridge Road at one time from all the way back there. I mean, it's unsightly. It's just dishwashers sitting there, commodes. They finally picked up not only this, but then you've got the better people, I guess, out of county, whatever. They busted one. They busted 2 commodes down there on the end of Bend Road. You know, where it had been left up there at the end. You know, took them to the middle of the night and busted them right in the middle of the road. You know, debris. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
This is the nastiest county in East Tennessee.
Amen.
Well, what I'd like to do is make a motion, we investigate how we want to do it, put a committee together, do it, whatever, and then we make a public notice about it, and we start finding people. Well, we need to start finding people, and he needs to start picking it up, they be known. Clean it up, I'd like to see cleaned up, I'd like to see cleaned up, what's out there,
Yeah.
and then no more.
Now, I would like to see people that have some supposedly teeth see what they do with it. You know, you wanna be reelected, or you wanna think everybody has in township?
I just want to do what's right, and this is totally wrong, what's happening. Our county is totally wrong.
So a motion,
Have you made a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that maybe we put together a committee to figure out how we want to do it, put together. You know, for example, I mean, I think we need to give 30, 60-day notice to the public citizens. And then therefore we'll levy a $500 fine, whatever it may be, to someone who puts it to the property owner. It's going to go to that property owner,
Yeah.
whoever that may be. Okay?
Could we sit down and talk about it and, think it through?
I mean, that's what I want to put together.
Well, I'm not, what I'm saying though
Okay,
is,
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out here and I got a bag of garbage in my car. I'm gonna throw it out. I'm just gonna go on.
I agree with the
There is a
principle.
lot, there's a lot.
I agree with the principle. What I'm saying is, there's people from out of county that will come in here with a trailer full, they'll dump it on the side of the road and they'll go back home. All right, now, if we gonna have teeth to it, we need to be able to determine who they were if we can,
Well,
and then go to them and say, you dumped your stuff in Hammond County.
so you don't know it.
And we, you know, this is the penalty for it. We got people that go out to yard sales every Saturday. They bring it home, whatever they don't want, they put at the road, and it's almost a business. So there's a lot to think about. And they got, you know, there's just a lot to think about. So what I'm asking is,
Your littering ordinance is not going to address this because people are going to be putting it out on the county right of way, on their own property. That's not littering. What I'll suggest to you to consider is an addition to the property maintenance ordinance that says if you put something outside of a receptacle and it's not brush and it's on your property even, but it's on the county right of way, maybe that gets you a citation. It's not gonna be $500 though, folks, it's gonna be $50.
Yeah, that's right.
But-
And then what happens then is you gotta take it to court, you gotta take the, you involved, and it goes forever, and never happens. And when you do get something happen, it's there, 10 months.
Would a code enforcement officer be more apt in this? I'm just asking that discussion, would that not help to go to the point of contact?
We've had code discussion officer, or whatever, for 5 years. They know that free. Why ain't gonna do nothing?
we have a motion,
You have a motion.
we have a motion to put a study committee together on this.
Hey, Chairman, can I say
To-
something, please? Is this just for subdivisions, or is it gonna be for the whole county? Well, you'll have to change the law, because Mr. Ford just made it for subdivisions, remember?
That comes back to your maintenance, and I'd agree with you. I'm just saying, we just need to stop this department from picking it up and notify the residents of Hammond County that we're gonna do this in a timely fashion, and that any litter put forth after that point in time, you will be assessed a levy if we have to go clean it up.
Second.
Please put it for
Do we have a
all
second?
counties.
I'll second the motion.
Second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes.
So we gotta get that in,
Repeat the motion.
same thing you said. He said, we gotta get, the person that, in charge is gonna do something
Correct.
effective. If it's your neighbor, if it's you, it's your dad, it's your mom, and hey, we got that right.
Is it gonna say for all of Hamlin County?
We got a committee gonna look
Hey,
at
it's
it.
not what we're working on, I mean,
Thank you, please, please.
4B, revision of the HCC public comment guidelines for commission meetings. If you look at the public comment guidelines for commission meeting dated 12/1/15 and revised May 23rd of this year, I will read. Cameras, video equipment, and other recording devices shall be restricted to the designated area in the rear of the meeting room, on the opposed side of the video stand, which means over in that corner. This will ensure that any recording device that's being used will, outlined there, will not be interfered with the conduct of the meeting or hamper with the ability of the audience to observe the participant in the meeting. The commission chairman shall require that such equipment be operated within these guidelines to have the equipment removed from the meeting room. Now, I've heard all kinds of things. For 10 years, I sit in this chair. I've heard squabbles, a little bit of everything. I've mentioned it years ago. Nothing's ever happened, so I just kind of let it go. Sometimes it gets obnoxious. We need to do something about it. That's my opinion. No. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, if we're gonna put all the cameras back in that corner, we're gonna have to put this man's camera right here back in that corner too. Who's gonna patrol the meeting room? We're gonna have Lenny to put hers back there.
We'll make it known that every video recording, you're gonna have to go back to the room.
Gonna have to have some security on it if you do it. Even Randy had his out a while ago. You'd be over the phone.
Can I get a motion to move the cameras to the rear of the radio rooms? Yes. Made a motion. So I have a second. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Discussion.
No.
Discussion?
Let's have discussion.
Go ahead.
Have discussion.
And a lot
So-
of transparency, and a lot of transparency in what the public comments was. Is there a way, if we set them up, a place in the back, that they had access to put a microphone up front, or, you know, we're already videotaping. I maybe even suggest that we videotape our committee meetings where they're open. I mean, I'm just,
I don't have a problem with that.
I agree with what they're saying. They want transparency. I'm for transparency.
I'm all for transparency.
However, I think we, you know, address our situation where it's free to everybody. We could ban cell phones coming in here, period. You know, just add to it where no one except camera equipment in the back. That's my discussion.
I have a question. Who sees your video?
It is put on YouTube, and anyone who goes to my channel, I can see how many views. I can tell you back when Mr. Ford was trying to shut down public comments about the solid waste board, there were 1,400 views. Not all of them get nearly that much. That was very exceptional. But it's available. It's not how many people, it's making it available. And I would be very happy not to have to do this. I would love, because you have a better system by far than I have, if you would have your committee meetings taped. I've always been for that. But you don't. It's not a good angle, and there are people that sit over there on that pew that runs along there. Nobody's over here.
Mayor Britton, could you address, what does it cost us to film
Cost us $100 a meeting.
a meeting? So, in other words, $1,200 more a year for committee meetings. If we had another meeting, that would be $1,200 back.
And you'd have a much better quality, and you'd actually have it put out on Charter, and you could put it in your archives. You could
Would
even,
that not be the transparency move?
Let's postpone.
We already have a motion and a second.
Motion to postpone. What I'm saying, I don't think that she or he or it should look at the fact that the charter is going to do that. Because charter is, we hire the charter.
I agree with Doe. If maybe we could look at something where, you know, right now we have a contract, I'm sure, with Charter to do our monthly meetings. However, if they take our committee meetings and make them available, you know, maybe it's not,
We're in the budget process now, that would be a good time to bring it up. Yeah, we got a budget meeting, but when we come to the county commission section, some of you have been concerned about the chairs that you're sitting in. You need to bring that up at the same time.
How about a PA system? Don't you think we need to bring that up where people can hear? We don't have one in here for committee.
No.
She couldn't pick up anything up there. If she was sitting on that corner, she couldn't pick up nothing. And
So we
this man
gotta-
here couldn't either. If we don't, you know,
sweet seats.
the volume.
Him and Linda always work real well together.
We got a motion and a second on the floor, so do we have to,
we've got a demand possibility.
they can,
Yeah. No matter.
so with a motion and a second, everybody approve, motion say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I'm gonna have to say something. I would like to hear a roll call vote on these. Some people, I don't know, but people keep silent. Are they a yay or a nay?
The motion has been approved.
By what?
Okay.
By what vote? What was the vote?
He's just,
There's only one nay, and that was Wayne.
So you have a bunch of abstentions? Because you've got about 7 on the committee.
you know what, you're interfering with our meeting right now.
Sorry.
Chairman, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Goin. Now, Chairman Huntsman of the Calendar Rules Committee, you're recognized.
Call meeting to order. Is there any visitors, to this committee?
Noe 2343 Joe Stevens Road. I would love to see you do exactly what you did with Mr. Long's proposal, and that is go look and see what you need to do. Don't make up. You received this information on Friday, I assume, about the cameras, unless you got it earlier than it was online. I would like to ask that you consider, at least at your regular meeting, postponing this, like Mr. Cupshaw said, and find out what laws you currently have. If I'm not mistaken, there are laws about who can put what out on the side of the road. This goes back to 15 or 20 years. Find out the facts before you jump and vote on something. And just like you were saying about doing a better quality camera, let's look into that before we decide to vote to shut down my poor little $80 camera. I'm not quite sure what fear that strikes in everybody, but I did notice that Mr. Goins said he had mentioned it one time, sometime a long time ago. I never was told anything. And while I'm at it, the votes that you take, so often, just like with this, you'll hear 2 people make, yeah, and then no's, and yet you've got 7 people, and yet somehow the people who don't vote get counted as yes votes. Why aren't they counted as no votes? Or why doesn't it say, you know, so-and-so and so-and-so abstained? Let's go back to taking roll call votes and finding out where everybody stands, particularly on transparency. And I'm sorry if I bothered you. So let's, please, take roll call votes. I've seen it so often in committee, and I've got it on the tapes. You'll hear one person say yes, one person say no, or 2 say yes, or you think you hear 2. But there's no record of who voted how. But please do not vote to send the cameras to the back of the room. please do vote to tape your own meetings. I would love that. And like I said, all this stuff got donated. You talk about the cost, like $100 a meeting. That's chump change compared to what was before you tonight. True chump change. And yet it would provide access to these meetings to everybody in the county who has charter, MUS, or Comcast, or whatever they have. Thank you.
I'm not gonna be too long. I'm going to go on Hogan Line at 2343 Central Springs Road. I don't put out trash. I put out hams, I put out trees. My husband and I have a pickup truck. We put it in there and take it to the landfill. But you know, I don't think it's fair to just vote for a subdivision. It should be for all of Hamilton County. Let all of them clean up, not just subdivisions. The rural areas too. Mr. Ford did that because he lives in rural, not subdivision. But now, if you don't do all of Hamilton County, they're going to be dumping. They're still going to be dumping. They won't be stopped dumping. People are nasty. There's some nasty people in Hamilton County.
It's gonna be
I'll
all
be-
that.
But
It's
please
gonna be
make
all-
it
it's
for
gonna be all
all of Hamilton County, because I'm a taxpayer too.
It's gonna be
And
all.
I believe in keeping my place clean. If you don't believe me, come out and see it.
I saw it today.
Thank you, Mr.
Whatever.
Jarvis. I hope you get better.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, the next three is the old business, I have none. And then fourth, the new business. Okay, I want to review the regular calendar items. Okay, a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Just a couple of things. You'll need to delete one item. Under Finance Committee, you need to delete item number 9 that failed for the lack of motion. And then under Public Services Committee, you'll need to add, there'll be a vote on the motion of roadside roadways. Just add that.
Sorry, Bill, what was the motion?
The adding a vote to, under Public Service Committee, the roadside bulk waste flow.
Bill, that's for- that's for- motion.
Is there any more discussion?
Yeah, good motion.
Okay, I need a motion from the committee to review the regular calendar items.
So moved.
Okay, Jody? Yeah,
Made a motion.
you said?
I'll second.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None? Okay. Then on part B, okay, to review the consent calendar items. Make that a motion.
Do we need a motion?
So moved.
Okay, second?
I'll say,
Okay. Good. Is there any discussion? None? Okay, call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
The negative, say no. Okay. And that's all I have of interest.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Huston. Before we adjourn, we want to remind you that the Budget Committee will meet here tomorrow afternoon, 5 p.m., so don't forget that, okay?
Mr. Shipley, there's something about this beer permit gonna come up. I haven't heard nothing said
Well,
about that.
that's in the regular meeting.
Yeah.
Regular meeting,
Yeah. Well, we need to look at that because in Penny Petty's application, it's got you can't have it within 2,000 feet. Well, the guy selling beer out there today,
2,000 feet of what?
A lot less than 2,000 feet. But also it's got in the application, is there a church next to it? And he's got no. The church is right across the road from it. So I think we need to look at that application, get it, if it's been changed, if the footage has been changed over the years, we need to get the application.
It's been
in
changed.
line with what it's supposed to be.
That application does need to be corrected. It's been changed by default.
By what?
From the commission's, past commission's, inability to do it right. In other words, once they've passed a few of these places, that becomes the standard.
But I think what he's saying, you know, we need to revise our
It
permit.
needs to
where
be
it
taken
reflects.
completely out of it.
Yeah,
It don't even need to be.
reflect exactly what he's
So if you get a new applicant that comes down the road and he wants to put beer in his store,
Okay.
you go to this application, and this application says 2,000 feet, we just ignore that?
No, it needs to be changed.
It needs to be changed, it's gotta be changed.
He'll have to apply again. We've got to stop him, he's got to apply again. You know, why do we meet? Seems like there's no reason to meet.
Yeah.
We need to make it go away.
Okay. We stand adjourned.